Alright guys, it's Dokkan time, and today we are going to be going over how to build the LR Super Saiyan Trio, which is technically called Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Vegeta and Super Saiyan Trunks team. So, now these are a very good LR. This is a very good LR. I will say personally, like, if you're thinking maybe I shouldn't really be summoned for him, I'm going to say you probably shouldn't be summoning for him. I will make a separate should you summon video once we actually see the banner come out, but as of right now, yeah, I'm just giving my general opinion on that. So I do like this unit. I do like this unit. I think he's good. I think he's hitting really bloody hard, because he is hitting really bloody hard. I do mean that, like, to the utmost degree. Is when this dude's active goes off and you get his active off, you get freaking all three of his super attacks and his passive to go off, and then you get his hidden potential to go off. I mean, then his normal one, I mean, he's quad 5 super 6 attack super attacking. I mean, he's pretty crazy. He really is. He's really freaking good. He does already have a built-in additional like, let's go over his details. Unfortunately, I'm recording this at a time where websites haven't been updated, so bear with me. He's a 200% lead. He has an entrance animation. That entrance animation is only able to go off if you have 2 or more Super Saiyan or Movie Hero category allies on the team. He does reduce damage received by 30% for 5 turns. Now, that's good, but it's only for 5 turns, so that means after that 5 turns, he's immensely weaker as far as defense goes. And even the 30% isn't going super far. He does have a key plus 3 attack and defense 180. He has plus additional attack and defense 130 when attacking. So he only gets that 130 boost when supering. He does get a whole extra 3 key. Sorry, my cat just walked over to me. He gets a whole 3 key every time you give him 1 intelligence key sphere. So if you grab 3 intelligence key spheres, you are actually getting 9 key for that. Now, it's not 9 key spheres, which is very important to what we're about to go over next. He does randomly orb change to intelligence key spheres, which is both good or bad, depending on the team setup you have. I mean, Bulma and God Goku are both changing key spheres, so you got to keep that in mind. But that's also, once again, only happening if you have a Super Saiyan or Movie Heroes category ally attacking at the same turn. Now, he launches an additional attack that has a 50% chance of becoming a super attack for every 3 key spheres. And he can do this 3 times. So that means if you acquire 9 key spheres, separate key spheres, not 3 intelligence ones. No, it's got to be 9 key spheres to get this. You can get 3 additional supers just from his passive effect straight off, which is very good, which is very, 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 very freaking good. It is very good. So let's move on to the rest of his kit, which is his active skill. His active skill is actually very important. So it can be activated when all allies attacking in the same turn are Super Saiyan. So realize that his active requires Super Saiyan, and his passive requires either Movie Heroes or Super Saiyan. That's something really important to keep in mind, because there's not a lot of Super Saiyans to put onto his teams specifically, other than his own. So, I mean, you can try and rock Power of Wishes or Final Trump card. Those are probably going to be the primary categories you'll end up trying to use them on. I would not advise a double leader. I just wouldn't. I don't think he's defensively inclined enough to be warranting a double leader role, aside from perhaps like mission-based objectives that are potentially going to be a thing you'll have to worry about. He does massively raise attack temporarily, and he causes ultimate damage, and then all attacks become critical. So, with all of that in mind, with him having crits built into his active, he only greatly raises attack and defense for 3 turns on his 18 key, and he greatly raises attack for 3 turns on his 12 key. So additionals are helping his damage out a lot. Like, this is a unit that's going to be doing Like, on average, on an 18 key super, I mean, at Rainbow, he can do 14 million damage right off the bat, and then go back down to an 11 million, 11, 12, 13 million, just constant, one after another. It just depends on your RNG, with specifically actually getting the super attacks to go off. So that is all things to keep in mind. So let's take a look at his stats next. Let's take a look at his stats. Let's look at his 55% first. Yeah, let's look at his 55%. So at 55%, he's looking at only 210k defense. That's not very good. Post 12 key super, he's at 483. So that's just with his passive going off. With the 18 key defense going on, he's at 725. That's no support. That's no stacks from the previous turn. Now, if you actually get the 18 key super attack, so let's say turn 1, he 18 keys. Turn 3 is when he'll have that effect, but you have to keep it going. You have to keep the 18 key up, or else you won't have anything else. He'll be at 967. Now, 967 is a little bit more respectable, but if you manage to get some support onto there, you'll be able to hit that 1 million point, which is actually ideal. So remember, but once again, this is post-super, so don't be going into Fusion Zamasu or Birth of the Shadow Dragon Stage 8 Omega Shenron and assuming, oh yeah, I'm going to beat the crap out of this. With some good RNG and a very good slot 1 tank, maybe Papa Whis, yeah, no, you'll be fine, and he'll murk the crap out of them very quickly. This is a unit that's just going to do absurd amount of damage. Now, that was the 55% calculations. Let's go look at the Rainbow calculation. The Rainbow calculations, you're at 254 start of turn, 585 12p, and 878 on 16 or 18 feet. 18 feet. Words are hard. Now, with one super attack effect, so from the 18 key super on turn 1, moving on to turn 3. On turn 3, he's sitting at 800k defense on 12 key super and 1.1 million defense on 18 key. And with 40% support, he can hit 1.3 million defense. I almost feel like they calculated that out perfectly. Like, it's a trap. Like, there's no way it's a coincidence that this unit's from Android 13 movie and his max possible defense is 1.3 million. 13? Really? Yeah, no, that's not a coincidence. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. If you want to have a good idea, compliments of Rocket Lizard OP on Twitter for his attack-wise. Turn 2, Bulma, 16 mil attacks going off here, 10, 11, 12. Maximum support of 3 attacks from the previous turn. And the defense, I mean, 16 mil, 11, 12, 13 mil on the 5th super, if you can get the 5th super attack off. And then if you get the active skill off and then go on from there with maximum possible stacks applied at Rainbow, his active skill will do 62 million damage. And the first super, which would be an 18 key super, would do 25 million damage. Then the next one would be 17, 18, 19, and then all the way up to 20 if you magically got all of those coin flip 50% procs. So, with all of this crazy amount of damage, I really have to put in my stuff here and say that he's a full additional build no matter what way you look at it. No matter what, you're gonna want to put additional into him to get that additional off to proc even more damage. This is a unit that you want to do damage. You want to do unga bunga damage. And in fact, I would arguably say outside of the Spirit Bombs, like the Spirit Bomb 8th Anniversary units, I would say this is the hardest hitting unit in the game. He's gonna murk freaking every boss in the game if you get the right RNG and the right setup correctly. Maybe he's even a better LR Blue, or not L. Maybe he's even a better EZA Blue Kaioken Goku Spirit Bomb, you know? He's very good. He's a very good unit. I have some issues personally with how with his team setups, with his options. He's still a very good unit. But we have New Year's around the corner, so I wouldn't really say to actually, go for him. As far as the rest of his hidden potential goes, you have your two choices. You can either utilize him as if he was, excuse me. You can either utilize him as if he was, let's go with saying, you could do the same thing with God Goku. So there's two ways to build God Goku. You either build him full additional and then put the rest into dodge, or you build him full additional and put the rest into crit. So the reason why you would put in the crit is because then he's just doing constant additionals along with the crit potential. But the thing is, with God Goku, once you go into his Super Saiyan state, he has auto crits for that turn. So the idea is the exact same thing with God Goku that is with this LR trio. Do you keep putting in additional so that they can keep pumping up their damage, and then you activate their active skill, and then they're basically an auto win because all attacks become critical and they're just doing absurd amounts of damage. So you could put crit into him. You could put crit into him along with the additional, just purely on the fact of doing more damage overall. Like, you'd just be constantly doing absurd amounts of damage. I mean, you're not going to just do a crap ton of damage on active. No, you're going to be doing always a crap ton of damage. This dude, turn 1, can have 12 to 14 million super attack. Not a lot of units in the game can do that. Like, I can't even think. Like, this dude's as close to Devilman as you're going to get. Like, he's very good. He's very good. And if you put crits into him, oh boy, he's going to be doing the damage. This is one of those units where, because he's intelligence, I would honestly say, you know, just let him rock with his 5 additional. Eventually, one day, maybe maybe he absolutely needs to have a more defensive incline, and then, you know, screw it, get rid of the crit, put a dodge into him, and at that point, yeah, then he's just kind of trying to be a little bit more defensive up until he uses active, and then you'll just do absurd critting, as long as you have good good RNG. So here's the thing. You could activate the active skill and get those automatic crits, but aside from the 18 key super that you have lined up after the active, every single other one of those attacks could just be a coin flip into a normal. But at least they'd be a crit, right? But anyways, yeah, those are your two choices. No matter what, my highest suggestion is putting additional into him. Get those extra additionals off whenever you can. But if there's also a third option, there's a third option. You don't have to go additional. You can actually go full on dodge. You can go full on dodge because that's the only thing he's missing out of his entire kit. You know, he doesn't have any dodge. You could put him in full dodge, and then it's just entirely up to you. Do you want to put the rest into crit? You know, because he's already doing the additionals, just take advantage of all those additionals he's already potentially doing if you have the right RNG to get all those orbs. Or do you just go ahead and go for the full additional at that point as well, and then just bait on the whole fact of his active going off, and you're just going to one-turn kill whenever you get to that point? So, entirely up to you. Personally, I'm probably leaning more towards this. Personally, I'd probably be leaning more towards crit and dodge, because he's already got so much additional built into him. I can definitely see some very big abusive attackers, though, wanting to be like, just use this dude as a freaking tactical hydrogen nuclear bomb that'll blow up the planet. And he's just gonna crit, and then additional. Screw dodge. Why dodge if we're just gonna kill the enemy, right? I won't be summoning for this unit though, so if you're deciding to summon, by all means, entirely up to you. My highest suggestion is probably going to be the crit and dodge build, but that's just my personal suggestion anyways. There is other options, as I've discussed in the video. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and good luck on your summons, and have a good day. Good night.